Good morning, land of YouTube. Donnie Caustic here, out on my morning walk. And sun's creeping over the top. I decided to go the opposite route today towards in town, partially because I'm lacking a drink. I had my coffee, but you know what? Coffee and one of these drinks really gets me going. It like sparks my consciousness, and then I'm firing on like infinite number of cylinders. It feels really good to be able to walk around and effortlessly no longer think. That's the best way I can describe my mind. I may pause time and time again to try to slow down in order to have a clearer point come across, because my effortlessness in the way my brain processes things can also, I think if I get too far ahead, remove words from a sentence. And slowing down actually keeps me on track with not removing words from a sentence that you don't hear. So if I end up speaking too fast, excited about a topic, what can happen is it's really hard to keep up with me. Not too many people that I've found operate at such a high frequency. I have had more than 2 handfuls of conversations in the last 2 weeks alone with really beautiful, intelligent souls. And we're friends now. And this was just random occasions, meeting people. And I like to look at it like this. When you vibrate a certain way, you attract. And that's like the law of attraction. And it's really what you're vibrating like. And then you end up meeting it. And you see it, and it's like a reflection of yourself, sort of. It's like you in a different form. The true secret to happiness in life is to view everyone around you as if it's you living in another form. Joe Rogan stated that out openly. It's not a new concept. It's something that is instilled within me. And as I really make that clear, I know that I'm not going to want to harm myself. Now, some people are really into self-harm. I'm into harm reduction. So if I'm going to love myself truly, then I can't harm or do any kind of ill effects to anyone around me. So what would that look like? In every instance, I attempt love. That's weird, right? Because love is a funny thing. Love can be painful. Love can be discipline. Love can be doing what's right for a relationship, even though it's going to hurt someone in a way that they need to see it. And with the love word in mind, I love this. I love the nature of my mind. I love how I operate. I love how I can never really find the end of a tunnel that I start going down. And I'm always inquisitive. I'm always ever presently learning and growing more and more and more. I like to make a concept metaphor of my consciousness expanding at the same rate as the universe expands, which is like mind-blowing, right? Most people would say, well, that's fucking crazy, because that would be like on par with some kind of supernova black hole. That's a contradictory thing, right? Well, I think stars explode and they create a black hole, which is so powerful it sucks everything in. It's like a vacuum in space, which space is a vacuum too, by the way. What if it's just one big black hole and we're just a ball of energy flying around? Okay, enough what ifs. Staying focused on a true path would be this idea of self-love and harm reduction that I'm bringing to the table in one way or the other in most of my discussions. And it could be that I focus on active meditation, or I focus on seeing the beauty around me, or I focus on communication with nature, like in commune with nature. And I focus on my journey or my path that I'm directly on, as in I have a relationship with that path. Okay. Well, some of these concepts and principles that I have in my head stem from a lot of self-research, a lot of knowledge. And it's not to toot my own horn that I say that. I just say it in a fact that most individuals don't study these things in order to bring themselves to this level. So how do I slow down and open the door slowly to where someone can see the light and get curious enough to want to, walk into that room and investigate? And it all starts with inward. It starts with really looking at our part in everything. We're going to meet. Directly in the path of another today. Love it. So this inward journey really starts with us looking for our part in, I almost said fault and part at the same time. Fault. So it starts with our part in every situation. And it's a lot of times it's uncomfortable to really think that we had a part in every situation, because a lot of external things make us a victim in life. And then once we start becoming aware of our part and the fact of how we created our own victim mentality, wow, then, maybe the lights can come on a little bit or something like that. You get a little bit of a dim light. Maybe you don't have any problems. Maybe everything's great. And then I would challenge somebody with everything great, feeling like they're on top of the world. They've got everything nailed down. Everything's in order. I would challenge them by asking, is it really great? Are you still learning? Or do you have it all locked? You have it on lock. Your predestined future, your path is already set, and you're just there. You're at your plateau, and that's it. And then I would challenge also and say, well, what kind of an effect are you having on the world around you? Is it you are good with yourself and you're just staying with yourself? Are you actively transforming your community? I could go into a lot of different angles with that. More so, I would say, it's a challenge to have a concept of limitless potential within consciousness expansion. And if it's just learning constantly, craving knowledge, seeking it from every angle, and within that expanded consciousness, ever presently expanding, are individuals like that still? I run into a few that are just really intelligent, astute individuals that actually have never stopped questioning why. They want to look so deep. You just keep going why. And you look into the why. And then you find out it's just a letter. Why was just the end of the word why. And dumbly like that, and then why was that letter a Y? And I think it was just there to express something. Maybe a little phonetical piece of our language. And that's why Y was there. And it's as if that kind of concept applies towards everything. So if you take that to a level that is great, and it's like the basic nature of reality, and questioning existence, and existentialism, or some other, wild topics that I believe that I know there's others that go into this. It's like a rabbit hole. You can go into it, and once you're in it, well, does it really stop? I've been watching the analytics on my recent videos. I know I've just dumped a lot of content out in a short amount of time, and I've had some growth. How many people are really watching this video to the end to possibly receive the content that's contained within? I don't know. It looks like on average people are only a couple minutes in, so that means I gotta cram stuff in the beginning, not the middle. Really tasty content seems to just flow out of me, and I'm taking pride in that. It's like an ownership. I'm owning my own direction in life that I choose to have as this vessel, right? Which would be another term for a boat. This vessel in this sea of consciousness, and I'm steering the wheel. Isn't that cool? Like, I'm the master of my own seas, just flowing where I steer. Now, what I also like to try and practice right now to be more grounded is letting go of the wheel and steering at the same time. Sounds kind of funny, right? Because, if I'm just directing everything, especially with my life, well, what does that leave to an external projected world? I mean, does reality just transform around me? It kind of does when you think about it. You could put your mind to goodwill and you can actively transform your world around you with hard work or whatever measure. So where does it all start? I think it starts with thinking. It starts with thought. And then we bring thought into reality through action or words, verbalizing it. And that's bringing something that was not there into reality. So are we birthing creation in every single action that we do when it stems from a thought? That's a real fun fact that's accurate. I phrase it as a question to pique curiosity. And then I think about this. Is it an original thought? Or is it a shared collective thought because of what you've experienced that built up and created your psyche? From day one, you were basically like a little ship, and you're at sea, and you're getting blown around, and you're getting bumped into, and all of these other expressions of the same thing are just looking outward and trying to make everybody else what they want them to be. And they're never looking in. Not always everyone's not looking in. But with that in mind, there's a large majority of individuals that are not individuals. They're just like robots, doing what they need to do, surviving. They look outward, they mirror what their neighbor does, and they're just like a little chain reaction of the way society is. My challenge is to break that mold and actually open eyes to the real creative nature of our mind. And not just, not just in having a creative mind, but really in creating our own realities in a way that everybody's in their own reality anyway. They all see what they want to fucking see. They all express it a certain way. They're all on different levels, different plateaus, or different planes of existence. Some deep, heavy shit I got to share with who's listening. I look and I've got some growth, right? It says I've had some really good growth over the past 10 days. As far as that's when I started doing this. But I'm concerned with the level of my audience. As in, I see the average watch time is 2 minutes. I've got like 30-minute videos. This one's 15 already. And I'm just wondering who's actually seeing the whole message. Is it that you're turned off immediately, so you look the other way, and you're not going to receive a message then? Isn't that cool how life just works like a lottery ticket? You either play the raffle and stick it out, or you play the raffle and leave halfway through, and then, well, you know, they called your name, but you didn't win because you have to be present to win, right? That's another present statement. Most people don't stay present. They like to check the fuck out. And this state of the world right now, more people are checked out one way or the other. We're using a fucking cop-out. Medication this, medication that. Marijuana's a medication. Fucking alcohol can be a medication. Russia uses it to treat everything. I mean, you get the flu or something like that, they're like, here, drink vodka. It's their model. And you know what? It induces a fever and cures cancer too. You can actually cure cancer by having a high fever. That's just fucking science. Like, your body just gets hot and burns off what's ailing. I mean, isn't it crazy that they would try to steer you away from having a fever with COVID? What in the fuck would it be any good for not having a fever? It's your body's natural immune system. It's your body's way of fighting off a virus that it doesn't like. Fevers are good. You have a fever. If it gets too high, you take a fever reducer to prevent fucking brain damage. Okay, I agree with that. I don't want brain damage. I definitely don't want to go into a coma. But to a certain extent, fevers are important. They're a part of our life. When you're little, you can have a higher fever for a reason. It's our immune systems as babies are not fully developed. So we just attack everything. As a little tiny person's immune system, it's like, oh geez, it's cold. Forward, gotta protect this one. You know, I mean, it's comparatively with a baby rattlesnake and a full-grown snake. The full-grown snake may nip at you if you step on it and not really dump a ton of venom. But you step on a baby rattlesnake and that little sucker latches onto your leg, it's gonna dump every single ounce of venom it has because it's in fear of death. And its own immune system, in a way of self-preservation, it's gonna dump all the venom it can because it wants to live. That's its way of living. Our immune systems are our way of living. Who the fuck would go along with some dumbass theory that a fever's bad for you? I mean, give me a goddamn break. For reals, people? We are our own best doctors. Yet, no one wants to be a doctor. Everybody's like, I need to go to the doctor because they know best. And then the doctor's like, well, I know what's on paper, and this looks like this. Let me guess. They don't want to put in the work. Some doctors do. I'm not saying all of them are bad. But, oh well, I'm at the 20-minute mark almost. Checking in with everybody with some deep-ass shit that I like to talk about. If you watched this to this point, I would like a comment saying, I watched this video. That way I can just check in on a little study level. And then also, if you would like to comment and let me know that you watched the video, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, if anything didn't make sense, I would like some constructive criticism, feedback. And with that, I bid you adieu. Have a beautiful day, land of YouTube. Stay bright and turn on the lights.